Alright, so we are live. So guys, today is a different topic. Basically, I wanted to make this into a video, but there was just so much evidence of this person being kind of scummy that, like, I would personally just rather make this into a live stream. I can talk about it, I can add my commentary when needed. So, sorry for the little bit of background. I put some of my suits in the background, but this is not the best angle of Pixie over here. So, I'm sure if we're going to be talking about Liquid Sunshine Designs or Liquid Sunshine Studios. And here's some of my recent fursuit work. As you can see, from the suit I'm wearing and from my previous suits, I'm an amateur maker. And it's okay to be an amateur maker. That's what I always want to tell people. It's okay to not be good at making fursuits, to not be able to make your own fursuit. It's okay to have to buy one. It's okay to have a suit that's not the best, you know? And I think it's important when you're an amateur maker that you market yourself as such. I market myself as an amateur maker. I'm very clear that I am, in fact, an amateur fursuit maker, and that my suits aren't the best quality. You buy them for what they look like. They don't usually come lined. I personally like people to wear balaclavas because then you can like wash the lining separately. I didn't put on a balaclava for this because I'm just sitting here and I know that's kind of gross, but this is a personal suit. So we're going to be talking about Liquid Sunshine Studios or Liquid Sunshine Designs or LB from the block. She's had a ton of names before. Flow Costumes, I believe, was a previous tag of hers. So what she does is, this is a maker who has done some not so great things, and we're going to be talking about that. So before I start off this, I want you all to know I did attempt to reach out to this individual, and she saw my message and she didn't reply. I said something along the lines of, sorry, I can, by the way, because this is like a live stream, it's not edited, right? I don't have like the screenshots, but I can provide screenshots if she tries to dispute this. Basically what I did is I said, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Sakura Studios. My Instagram is very small. It's a lot smaller than my YouTube channel. Even my YouTube channel is pretty small. And I said, I'm a new fursuit maker. I'm going to be covering or doing a video basically covering the drama you're in. And I wanted to get a quote from you about how you're facing these allegations, what's your response to these allegations, is there a personal reason that someone would be attacking you falsely, essentially? And then I asked her a couple other questions, like, what would be the point of putting the metal in the head? Because I'm like, I don't really get, like, what they're trying to say the metal would do, which I do understand what they're trying to do. I'm just trying to see what she thinks the point of putting the metal in the head is. And what else? I think I also asked her who's her biggest inspiration and what's her advice for people facing similar drama and allegations, and how she deals with possible harassment, because I do know she has been harassed for this, and I don't want to say it's like not unwarranted. Like, I don't think it's unwarranted. I think she's been a scummy person and people are calling her out for it, but I don't think she's being harassed per se. But don't harass people. If you're considering doing that, don't do that, okay? So I'm just going to be reading off my script. My computer's right here, and I'll flip it around to show a couple of pictures. I can't wait to show you guys this suit later. He is a new suit of mine that I made. But yeah. So, many of you might or might not have heard of LSD Fursuits. LSD Fursuits, or Liquid Sunshine Designs, and then Fursuits maker, she's a fursuit maker, has been at the center of much controversy involving her business practices and fursuit making methods. First, let's start off with who LSD Fursuits is. I'm doing LSD Fursuits as in Liquid Sunshine Designs. Yeah, that name choice for her. Her @ is at LSD Fursuits. That is a name, my dude. Let me just say. She's a professional fursuit maker who often vends at cons and sells her suit commonly on her website and her Etsy. I also use Etsy. Her suits sell for around $1,000 plus for a head. That's a pretty penny, guys. Obviously, some kids who have seen her fursuits might even be like, for that, and I also agree. I think her suits aren't really worth $1,000 head. but that's a personal opinion. So if she can charge $1,000 a head, you know, why shouldn't she charge $1,000 for a head? Her prices are rather high, as I said, but seemed well-deserved until the recent allegations. They're not recent, they're old allegations. LSD Fursuits has faced allegations, including the use of sharp metal pieces in her fursuit head. Sharp metal pieces, that can hurt customers. I'll mention the main 3 problems people have with her fursuits. The problems are, and we'll be like dividing this up into 3 categories: her business practices, her poor quality fursuit heads and parts, and the allegations she put metal in her fursuit heads. I'm saying allegations because, I don't know, I like to be nice and wordy. We'll just say that. No, in actuality, it's pretty confirmed that she basically did it. Like, it's hard to deny her having put the metal in the heads. But, you know, to sound like I'm, you know, I'm kind of, I don't really care about, I can't say I don't care, because I think having a lot of quality in a fursuit head is very important, but I don't have a vendetta against any party in this. So I'm like neutral. So I'd like to preface my statements with the fact that I did reach out to LSD Fursuits for a statement. Oh, and then they didn't say anything. I didn't reach out to the accusers. I didn't reach out to Untamed Fur or Flubbusters, the people who have been, like, let me make sure my comments are on. Alright, all comments are on. I did not reach out to the people accusing LSD Fursuits of all her actions because they've made their points rather clear. They've made their evidence clear. I haven't seen any evidence to say this person didn't scam people. So, that's why I'm doing this. And I'm also making this video. They did read my message, and the fact that they didn't respond was a little bit, you know. So I did, in fact, reach out to them. But they haven't really done anything to clear their name. I've seen their things on Twitter. They're not very... She has a TikTok as a professional fursuit maker. And it's like, oh, I do good quality, I do this, I work in my pajamas. Okay? Like, she's not doing anything to clear her name. She's not being like, here's proof now, you can't really prove a negative. You can't prove you didn't do something. With a few, like, you know what I mean? For the most part, it's hard to prove a negative. But they can prove that she did put the metal in the fursuit heads. And even if someone was like, oh, you know, this maker, like, dude, like 5 separate people who are unrelated to each other have found metal in the fursuit heads. And that's what I find a bit concerning. So I will be showing some evidence from it later today. First, I'll be the person, alright, so business practices, first category. God, we are so far in, I've barely gotten anything done. I'll be the person who runs LSD Fursuits. She used to be named LSS, or Liquid Sunshine Studios, but changed her name rather quickly once accusations of the metal in the fursuit started coming her way, which is really sus. For the most part, if you're innocent, you don't change your name. That's that's a big red flag. While this doesn't prove anything, it does seem like a way to avoid cause and responsibility. So far, her poor business practices in her early fursuit making days, she used a Koloff suit pattern in her early fursuit making days as a hand paw pattern. You can buy this pattern for about $6, I think, on like Etsy, and you can make fursuit paws with it. The only rule pertaining to the pattern is that you mention that you used a pattern that you bought and that you don't claim that, like, oh, I totally made this pattern when, in all honesty, Koloff suits did. I hope I'm saying that right. LB then continued to use the pattern, even after repeatedly being called out and refused to credit the pattern. Secondly, she's allegedly plagiarized a base made by another maker by the name of Splinter Fox, whose fursuits are actually kind of like, their newer fursuits are really cute. There are theories that she used the base and made slightly edited molds and casts off the base. Her bases do bear an uncanny resemblance to Splinter Fox's bases. These include the eyebrow shape and in other places such as the mouth. While I have seen less accusations of this, is another thing, of this, she also has feet paws that bear striking resemblance to a paw pattern available and made by mattresses.net, and that's a website there's a ton of fursuit patterns and tutorials and stuff for newer makers. Lastly, when facing the accusations of metal in her fursuit heads, LB or LSD Fursuits has continued to respond immaturely. There are screenshots of her Twitter and interactions with her clients. As a fursuit maker, I find this absolutely ridiculous. Also, I was gonna originally make this a video, so I did include also language warning, because a real professional, LB likes to curse at anyone who pisses her off. If you're running a professional account, do not curse, do not use language. It's not good for the business. And that's my own personal opinion on that. You shouldn't be cursing if you're going to be running a professional account. Even on my Sakura Studios, because I make fursuits on there, it's Sakura Studios. I don't, it's not really cursing and stuff. Plus, it makes you not very friendly to clients. Hello, I am talking about the allegations against Liquid Sunshine Studio. She is a fursuit maker who has a lot of people talking about how she put metal in her fursuit heads, sharp metal pieces. And then in addition, she's done a couple of other scummy things, so we're just kind of talking about everything that goes on. I have a script and everything, so I'm just kind of reading off of that. Alright, to one client, LB claimed that they had to reinforce seams where they were stressed. So basically this person, they got a pair of fursuit legs, and they ripped. I believe they ripped along the knee or something. And LB was like, well, you have to reinforce it, because fursuit legs and fursuit parts, they're stressed differently for different people. No, that's not the case. Fursuits all have areas of high stress and low stress. Sorry, I have fur in my face. Knees, armpits, crotch, I'd say around the hip in my experience, and shoulders. Those are all high stress areas that you need to reinforce accordingly. It is never the customer's job to have to reinforce their seams, aside from if they had the fursuit for a while. If I had a suit for 6 months and it's a full suit and I'm very active in it, yeah, seam will eventually pop, but for the most part, no. Seams always have high stress areas and always have low stress areas. So I find it really, really sketchy how she's like, oh no, these seams, they're just different for everyone. If you have someone who's a size large and a size small, then yes. But fursuits aren't like that. Fursuits aren't like leggings where you can oh, some people are just, slightly different shaped. A fursuit's alright, say you get a full fursuit. Your bust needs to probably be within a certain thing. Your height and weight need to be within a certain thing. It isn't oh, it's just because you're slightly different body types. That shouldn't really affect it in my personal experience. So that was her trying to blame her mistakes on the customer, and I'll show a couple of screenshots if I want to. If not, I have put the ats of everyone who has all the information on LSD fursuits. I'm just kind of talking about the whole scenario. I'd like to think I'm bipartisan, but I'm sure I have some kind of bias. Let's see. As a fursuit maker, I can tell you it's okay to sell amateur work. It's okay to sell amateur work. I sell amateur work. I sell my amateur fursuit work on my Etsy. Link in description. I'm just kidding. My Etsy's on vacation mode. But when you sell your amateur work, you need to price it accordingly. And in addition, you need to warn that it is amateur work. Although LB is a professional, she has faced many allegations of poor workmanship, and that's what we're going to get into. So far, her business practices, she's been rude to customers, she's tried to pawn her mistakes off on customers, and, she hasn't really been a very helpful fursuit maker. In one of the cases, there was this customer that commissioned her on Etsy, and they commissioned feet paws with paw pads, right? And the paw pads are an extra $20 to add. Well, LB forgot to add the paw pads. So the person goes, hi, I really like these, but you forgot to add the paw pads. Could I just have the $20 you would have charged to put paw pads on back? But I love the feet, either. I still like the feet. And LB was like, sure. And then this person tried to commission her again. I think they wanted to commission a lot of stuff from her. And LB was like, oh no, you get blacklisted from my shop if you ask for a refund, which is really sketchy. And it's not like this person was trying to scam her, because if they were trying to scam her, they would have been like, oh, I need $200 back because you did these feet paws wrong. Instead of, oh, you charged me an additional $20 for this feature that you didn't add. Can I just have that $20 back? Oh my God. This looks like a black patch. There we go. Sorry. I'm absolutely in love with this suit of mine. I know she's not perfect. I know she's got her flaws. But, I don't know, I just like her face. Also, video setup. What do you guys think? I might do some actual talking fursuit videos, you know. But, alright, so next we're going to talk about the poor quality of LSD fursuits. By the way, oh God, it's so weird being like, oh yeah, LSD fursuits. Like, Christ, could you have chosen like a worse acronym? Also, sorry for the human hands. I've got to scroll, and she doesn't have any paws right now. She has a full suit, and I don't want to put that on. For the poor workmanship, LB is known to block and blacklist those who complain about the work, and then I talked about the feet paws. I'm reading off a script. Things like feet paws have the bottom mat fall off, and seams on the head seem to be shown by fluff busters come apart with little effort. There are tons of pictures of like her fursuits, and like the seams are just completely destroyed in places that aren't even super high stress. Places like, you know, this, I have like a seam in the middle of the back of my head back here. That's where I put my seam. Seems like that had a rip in them. And that's not a particularly high stress area. I'm not even talking about where the neck connects. Like, just up there. It was this, your seams should be either blanket stitched, ladder stitched, but only for small areas, or machine sewn. And the fact that her work comes apart so easily shows she's not using the right kind of stitches. Like, she just uses a basic, I don't even know what it's called. I self-taught myself how to sew. She just uses the basic, you know, put two pieces of fabric together, not even like looping around, which kind of shows that like she doesn't really know what she's doing, and she's not using the right kind of stitches. And I've seen like the way she sews not holes, Christ, spots in her fursuits, and those just become holes because they're so crappily sewn. When Triton the Lavendier, who was one of the big people, was like, my fursuit's falling apart, was falling apart. LSD Fursuits claimed it was because she was a mersuiter. Although I'll refrain from commenting on the issue, as I haven't heard a lot about it. Her suit was falling apart in ways that it shouldn't have, even if she was doing mersuit activities. She had made a couple of videos on her Instagram showing how her suit is poor quality and poor fitting, which was the ways it was poor fitting was too tight, it was too short, the crotch was too low, and it wasn't supposed to be drop crotch. I think these are even on YouTube. Like, when I tried to learn about this, I didn't have Instagram. So I had to look on YouTube, and there's nothing on YouTube, which is why I'm making this video. So this is it's chill, and then I've linked the proof in the description, but I can show some if someone's interested. Alright. She's often targeted young furs and new people to the fandom. She even attempted to run a panel targeting young furs at a recent convention. But thankfully, a ton of furries band together to stop the convention from giving her a platform. She's often known to attempt to market towards kids those new to the fandom. I keep repeating myself because I have everything in my script, and then I go off on tangents. So the reason she targets towards these people, a lot of people think this is due to the fact that these people who are new to the fandom don't know about how low quality her suits are, and they don't know that hey, my suit, the head isn't supposed to be falling apart like this. Oh, I should be able to breathe out of my fursuit. Untamed Fur and Fluff Busters have chronicled their experiences with LB on their Instagram. Sorry, I've got to scratch my face. In addition to having fursuit hair everywhere, I have long hair, and it is a mess in here. It is just fur and hair, and I can't tell which is which, and it is just, oh Lord, it's an experience. Fursuiting with long hair, man. It sucks. Alright. I believe it was Untamed Fur has even taken apart LB's fursuits to show the poor quality. LB's claim these allegations are untrue and tends to show any good review she gets on Etsy as proof. But hasn't yet proven that her suits don't have weak seams or poor quality. A recent booth at a furry con, this is a separate thing, a fellow furry decided to buy a bag of fur from LB. So sometimes fursuit makers will have a bunch of scraps of fur that are probably big enough to do stuff with, but they don't need and they don't have the space for, so they'll sell them. And so someone bought a bag of those from LB. This bag included a yard of black fur that was so thin you could see through the entire thing when you held it up, just kind of like this, with just the lights there. And you should not be able to see through the backing of fur. That is horrible quality fur. This fur was so thin the buyer could see through it. And the buyer was actually really unhappy. This is concerning because LB either A, bought the fur and knowingly ripped off the customer, and just sold it knowing it was poor quality fur. Oh, hello, we're talking about LSD fursuits. She's a maker who likes to scam people, so we're talking about everything that she's kind of done. And I've got, the proof linked in the description. We have Instagram accounts that have chronicled everything LSD Fursuits has done. Yeah, I know her acronym is something, but so basically the thing I'm talking about is she sold fur that was super thin and terrible. So either she ripped off the customer and she was like, oh no, this fur right here is fine quality, and sold it to the customer to scam them, or she used fur that was that low quality on a fursuit, which is equally as concerning. So now last, we're going to talk about the big thing. She has faced accusations that she put sharp metal pieces in her heads. So I'm going to read off my script a little bit. Lastly, I will be discussing the allegations that LSD fursuits put metal in her fursuit heads. There have been multiple videos of untamed fur taking apart fursuit heads and finding metal in the mouths, about right here. I love you. Hi, it's nice to meet you. These metal pieces are apparently part of mason jars, piece of mason jar she folded in half and then used to prop the mouth open like this so there was better airflow. The problem with these metal pieces is they're shown to be sharp. Untamed Fur took these out of the head, and she showed that these were enough to scratch and dig into apples. They could get stuck in an apple, which means if a piece of metal can get stuck in an apple, what do you think that's going to do to your face if it was only protected by a single piece of fleece, which is so scary. LB claims she never put these shards in, but there are screenshots of her admitting she put them in to prop the mouth open. Oddly enough, the old Splinter Fox base, and she's accused of plagiarizing a base by Splinter Fox, had problems with ventilation through the mouth. And it's kind of funny that her base that looks like it's plagiarized off of a Splinter Fox base has the exact same problems as the old Splinter Fox base. I love your voice and hearing you talk. I love the topics you discuss. Thank you. This isn't any furry drama I was personally involved in, but I really think it's important to spread the word. Oddly enough, the old Splinter Fox base. Alright, these pieces of metal are very dangerous for customer safety, which is the reason many people are outraged. You can't put things in there that are going to damage your client. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, you shouldn't, in general, put anything other than foam, hot glue, fleece, and fur on your fursuit. Cardboard's not safe. Now, some resin heads, if you guys are familiar with those, resin's basically plastic, are these plastic bases, and they put a bolt and hinge, and they're moving jaw, and the bolt and hinge are made out of metal because that's just the material that works best for it. And when you talk, the jaw goes like this when you talk, and it moves up and down, and it's really cool. But that's the only time you should put metal in the head, aside from, I don't know if you count magnets as metal, but I've got magnets and Pixie's head here that were supposed to be for earrings that didn't work out, though. And then I also have metal in my Mochi Raptor suit. She has a wire in her head, but it's in an area where it won't get wet. It's not a sharp wire, it's a soft wire, and it's to move the head feathers. But that's those are the only times, so occasionally fursuit makers will put metal in the lower jaw, but that's a wire, and you have to tell people there's metal there so they don't get it wet. Basically, this, although for the most part it shouldn't rust. So why LSD fursuits is so bad. So this whole thing is a mess. Why the public outcry? Well, the problem is the LSD fursuits is provenly done just about everything I've shown. How long will I be live? Enough to talk about this and then do a quick Q&A. If you look into this, I'll link multiple pages. I put a couple of ads down there with proof of LSD Fursuit's actions. The fun fact is that LSD Fursuits, or LB, could have apologized for her mistakes. She continued to deny the claims and immaturely and rudely replied to past customers. LB has stopped putting, I think that LB has stopped putting metal in her head. After getting this much backlash, she's probably stopped putting it in. But that she still hasn't owned up to her past actions of putting metal in a fursuit head, which is really concerning. Her poor quality doesn't seem to have stopped. There's still people being like, oh yeah, my LSD fursuit head is falling apart after, 6 months of wear. Oh, hello there. So I personally think that LB can do a couple of things to make up for her past actions. I think she should apologize for her rude actions and immature behavior. I think that she should either offer to A, remake or refund all the suits people found. Oh, she's a completely professional maker. She charges $1,000 for a head that has metal in it. The seams are coming apart. They're just horrible quality. And it's kind of scary that someone can get away with that. I charged $200 for my suit of Duchess, which for some, yet $200 is still a lot. And Duchess had glued seams, and Duchess wasn't very good. But I was honest. I said, this suit isn't the greatest. She was an amateurly made suit. Her ventilation is pretty okay. Her vision isn't the best. It's doable, but it's not the greatest. Basically, I said, here's my suit. Here are the problems. Here are the things that are good. Buy it if you would like. And someone bought it, and I really appreciate that. How much would I charge for my new suit? I'd say $300 or $400. It depends. I'd say about, I don't know. I'd say about $350 maybe for a head. I don't do commissions though, so it'd be a pre-made head. Here's Pixie. This is not the best angle, Pixie. Do I do commissions? Nah, I don't like taking commissions. It's too stressful, but I do pre-mades, and I do take requests like, oh, can you do, a goat head? And I'll be like, oh, I might make a goat head and sell it and be like, go ahead, but I won't do specific designs or anything. This is actually a recent head I made out of nothing but scrap fur. And he's not perfect. As you can see, his face is a little wrinkled. But this is still better than an LSD fursuit, apparently. Which, once again, Sam, she did not think when she was changing her name. It's cute. Thank you. So we're going to finish this up. I think that LSD Fursuit should reform her business practices and start making better commitments to quality. She has a couple of genuinely cute suits. She has this goat suit that I just think is adorable. It's got huge ears. It was a genuinely cute suit, but she also has suits that look kind of creepy. I feel like her suits lack expression. So, by the way, I have a personal tips. Now, I know if LSD Fursuit sees this, her response is, well, you're an amateur maker and your suits don't look good. Doesn't mean I still can't critique you, Basic things never change. For example, this suit has so much more personality than any of LSD Fursuits. YouTube doesn't notify me. Oh, is that why? Okay, there was no one on here for the first 10 minutes, and I didn't know if that was my fault if I didn't do something right, or yeah. Sorry, this is a very impromptu live stream. This is a very odd time. Also, I changed into a sweater to look nice, but it just makes me look large, which was not particularly my goal. It doesn't help that I'm leaning back against my chair. That's the lowest chair ever. Alright, so her suits lack expression. Basically, the old Splinter Fox base used to have big eyebrows, but she seems to have shaved them down and made the muzzles a bit shorter, which, this is a short muzzled fursuit, but it's still, she's very clearly smiling, In addition, her eyebrows, she adds eyebrows on her suits, and not to say you can't add eyebrows. I think Elvira actually might. By the way, it's what I named her. Elvira, that or Nymeria. I'm still stuck between those two names. This is what it looks cute with your fursuit. The colors fit. Thank you. I'm hoping to make her some claws and a tail and be able to go partially in this and actually an outfit I normally wear because I think it's kind of fun. But she gives her suits like eyebrows, and it just looks weird. Plenty of makers, most makers don't include eyebrows on suits unless it's part of a commission, or if it desperately needs like some expression. But they kind of make her suits just look like kind of creepy. So basically, overall, these accusations aren't even all the things LB has even done or allegedly done. I like Nymeria best. Oh yeah, I think I like the opinions. Yeah, it's spelled a bit off. I actually don't know how to spell it. I wrote it down somewhere. So basically, LB's done even more stuff that I haven't talked about. But I didn't want this live stream to be an hour and 40 minutes of what did everything LSD fursuits do just to forget something. So once again, the people I've added in the description on Instagram, and then It's Your Mom on Twitter, they have all the information stockpiled. It's really just the rabbit hole you can get lost in. It's pretty interesting. So thank you guys for watching. Don't worry, I'm not ending the stream. I just like to... Sure, I'm going to finish this up and then I'll do a summary. Also, I do not plan to do a face reveal, but who knows, things could change in the future. So don't forget to do research on any fursuit maker you're going to buy from. Even if it's a pre-made, if it's a commission, even if it's really cheap, even if it's a really good deal, you should definitely just Google them. Just Google their look up artist aware, whatever the name of your fursuit is, buyer beware, whatever the name of your fursuit is. Or not fursuit maker is. Just to make sure that they don't do anything. If I forgot to include anything that Liquid Sunshine Designs has done, feel free to leave it in the comments below the video so people can learn even more about everything she's done. And I have one offer for her that I know she wouldn't take. I'd be willing to go like live with her on stream on my channel or even her channel if she wants to moderate. And allow her to tell her full side of the story with me bringing up everything that's been brought against her. So she's always welcome to contact me. My Instagram is the best place to reach out to me, Instagram DMs. I've already messaged this maker. And she didn't give me a statement about any of this. So watch out for her. If she wants though, she could debate Untamed Fur or Fluffbusters on my account, and I would just moderate. Like a debate, but I just moderate. Or she can just talk to me. I'm not personally involved in this. I just see all the evidence. And I'd be able to be like, all right, what do you say about this? What do you say about this? What do you say about this? But this, you know? But I know she wouldn't do that because A, I don't have enough clout for her to be like, oh yeah, you know what, this is worth doing. I recognize that clout's a thing, and that's something I don't particularly have. But still, it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty weird, this is stuff she does, and how many people she scammed. So, alright, I'm going to do a quick summary for those who just joined. LSD Fursuits, Liquid Sunshine Designs is her actual fursuit thing. She's scammed people. She's put sharp metal pieces in fursuit heads. Her fursuits have been shown to, like, fall apart at the seams. And she charges like $1,000 per head, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Where in the world is my mouse? Oh, there it is. I'll just pull up a picture or two. They say they're like a team, but I've only seen LB doing this stuff, so here, I'll flip around the camera. I'm just going to show some stuff on my computer, so excuse the... That's the Splinter Fox base. That's her base. See how, like, creepily similar they are? That's why people are claiming she plagiarized. And her first, they look creepy, don't they? It's the eyebrows, dude. This is a Koloff suit pattern. This is her paw pattern. Hey, Messy, we're just going over some evidence about the whole LSD fursuits thing. Look at those feet paws. Those are totally the same feet. There's slightly less evidence for this. And then that's the piece of metal she put in her fursuit head. Look at that. That is absolutely ridiculous. Look how sharp that thing looks. That was in her fursuit head next to the mouth. And this, that's not right. You should be hollowing that out even more. Like, my suits are pretty hollow, I'd like to say. See, like up there by the nose, that should be hollowed out. Why would she put that in there? It was allegedly to prop open the mouth, but that is just insane. Here's some of her tweets. Sorry for the language warning. Yeah, this is how professional acts. I don't even curse. And I have more of a reason. Her paw pads on the bottom of the feet, so the feet have like matte paw pads to keep them like, so you can walk, and they've shown to like completely come off. Look how little hot glue is holding that on. By the way, if you're a fursuit maker, the answer is always cover it in hot glue. Cover it. She outed someone for being a mersuiter, which I get it. I'll talk about this. Mersuiters are the people think of when they have a bad impression of fursuits and furries, right? It's okay to do that in your fursuit, as long as you're not, being around children and being, like, gross. I don't care if you like to do adult things. But she's like, oh, yeah, her fursuit's falling apart because she does adult things in her fursuit. No. There are fursuiters over here dancing and doing cartwheels in their fursuits. If they can dance in a fursuit and do cartwheels, I'm sure a fursuit can hold up doing that, and there are fursuits that do it. And the way that the suit was ripping and stuff was not conducive with those kinds of activities, Excuse my sweatpants. I didn't wear anything fancy because I figured no one would see my knees. They deactivated their Instagram and then they came back. So, let's see. There are some more posts linking. Untamed Fur, is this the best? I love her. She did a bunch of stuff. She did a ton of videos taking apart. She paid for ads. I'm just reading through the stuff on here. They always try and say they put out positivity in the fandom, but if you've seen their Twitter, it's so, it's so immature. It's like, oh God, it's just them cursing. Here's another pattern they allegedly stole. So this is by Elby, and then one's by Weasels on Easels, who is no longer an active fursuit maker. That looks like, that's really close, don't you think? Like, that looks kind of copied. Now I'll give them benefit of the doubts. Because this is someone talking about how they've had this problem before, and gives an example of LB being the one who did it. She used to be full of costumes. And she's stealing patterns. This person, I believe they're trying to claim this is her. There have been a ton of people like, oh yeah, she literally just pretends to be she pretends to be other accounts. Like, she has other accounts where she'll just defend herself mindlessly. And once again, that's not even all the evidence I talked about. If you want to go through all of this and just listen to me talk for, I think this last 10 minutes has been chatting. But yeah, the 30 minutes before this were all the evidence and stuff. Feel free to go watch that 30 minutes. I might make this into an actual video, but I wanted to make this into a live stream first, so I'd have it up, and then I can improve it if I want to make it to a real video. Look at this. That's what her mascot looks like. It's so scary. There she is. That's her old mascot. Her old mascot actually looked like a llama or whatever it's supposed to be. This new one, I think it's very important for makers to be able to convey the species that they're trying to go for. And I get it if you want your fursuit to look creepy. I'm going to mispronounce this so much. Like Gretchika 6666 on Instagram. Their suits look creepy, but their suits are supposed to look creepy. Those are cool suits. Like, it's, here, I'm going to Google more LSD fursuit stuff to see just if any quick picture, any more pictures come up. But yeah, they're just, this person, is another thing she did. This person, was commissioning her, and then, they put, like, a stripe on the nose. Here, I can show a picture of it. Oh, geez, my camera will work with me. They put this shine on the nose. It was obviously supposed to be like a nose shine. It wasn't supposed to actually be a marking. And she did that, and so LB, I think, wanted to charge the customer extra for her to take that off, even though she didn't consult with the customer if she would like this thing. And in addition, they made this suit, and you just saw the suit. It looks creepy. Like, I'm sorry. Once again, she has a couple of genuinely cute suits. But for the most part, they creep me out. And that suit was sold at a discount, right? So she sold the commission slot at a discount. And on the board, there's a picture of her, and she has a whiteboard in the background. It says, at a discount, so don't take long. She was basically saying, this person paid less for the suit because because she chose to put the suit at a discount. So she decided this person's suit, she wouldn't spend as much time on. She wouldn't put as much quality and effort as she would a normal suit. And that is absolutely disgusting. She chose to put it at a discount. It's not like she wanted. Let's see. Like, here we go. I'll show you a cute suit of hers, because I don't want to just be like, every suit of her is so creepy. Because not every single one is creepy. But, like, that's kind of a cute suit, in my opinion. I don't think it's $1,000 cute, but this is what her mascot looks like. And so they're claiming these suits are like, she's also, I've seen her, she claims these suits are older than they are. Like, oh no, the metal in the fursuits was like, on this one it says that the costumes with metal are like 3 years and older. But this suit was actually made, the one they're showing was made like 2018, so that's less than 2 years ago, which is a little concerning. Her mascot is kind of creepy. That's like the whole joke with her. It's like, it wouldn't be, as there are tons of memes of this, because her suits are just, once again, certain suits of hers are adorable. Like, certain suits are really cute. But why is her, also, this woman has no fashion sense. Look at this. Who chooses to, this was a choice. She chose to wear this. Christ. I'm not one to judge people's fashion sense, but like, man, a sweater and some jeans, dude. I got the sweater for like $20. Like this, even though the grays kind of clash, still looks better than that. It is just, oh God, it is. That's one of the things I've seen nobody meme on. Like, dude, if you want to meme on anything about LSD fursuits, the metal in the head, of course. But the fact that she has no fashion sense is a close second. And once again, she's, she's selling stuff that just isn't worth the price. And that's the huge problem here. Once again, it's okay if you're not a good maker. I sell my heads. I'd sell like a suit like this one, like I'm gonna call her Nymeria. I like the Nymeria suit for about $300 to $400. That's a fair price, even if it does, like, her whole entire head is hand sewn. Aside from, I don't sew around the edges of the nose, where the minky and the fur of the ears meet. I usually don't. Occasionally around the edges of the ears, I don't, like down here. Basically, I don't sew the ears, the edges of the nose, and the edges of the mouth. But those aren't high-stress areas, and I'd still probably be able to get at least $300 for one of my suits, even if it is like a fleece suit. But yeah, so this is everything. I'm going to log off. I brought a Coke to drink, But I realized, like, I should have grabbed a straw. So yeah, this is the whole drama with LSD fursuits. Please stay away from them. They're super terrible. If you'd like to, like, meme on them, feel free. If you end up, like, memeing on them, please send me that, because I want to see your memes. Or if you talk to her, or if you've talked to her in the past and have, like, screenshots, I'd love to see those. I tried contacting her, and it was... Once again, she saw my message. She just... Initially, I was going to be like, all right, I'm going to give her a week to respond to my message, because if you're a business account and you don't respond within a week, we have a problem. Even if that's not the correct way to contact her. She saw the message and she chose not to respond, which is fine. But it also means she's like, oh, no, you're wrong. You didn't tell me, man. I offered. Even though my offer still stands, she's more than welcome to come on my channel, or I'll come on her channel and we'll talk about this. But, she won't, because, I'm not someone with a ton of clout. My biggest problem with this was Bakari Rue did a video where Bakari was like, oh, look at these, I think it was like Christmas fursuits or something. Look at these cute Christmas fursuits, and she used an LSD fursuit. And she didn't, like, include any, oh, hey, this maker's known for this. But it doesn't mean the suit isn't cute. No, she included absolutely no disclaimers in the description as well, at least as of when I read it. So, that was, like, really, Bakari? Like, dude, this isn't even something that's, like, oh, say 4 years ago. It's still going on. It's still a problem. And it's very out there. It's all over Twitter. It's all over Instagram. I dare say it's all over Fur Affinity if I had Fur Affinity. I don't like furry drama. Like, for the most part, now it's going to be super hypocritical because 2 streams ago I was talking about furry drama. I got in. But if you've, like, seen my things, I never get in, like, extreme drama. And for the most part, I stay out of it. And I knew about this. So I really think it's important. Like, she just boosted that person on her 200,000 subscriber YouTube channel. She said, oh, hey, look at this person. They're okay when they aren't okay. And that's like, I get it, but no. Like, I get you thought the suit was cute. Don't plug the maker then. Just be like, this was made by LSD Fursuits. And then maybe, like, I don't know. I just feel like she totally gave them a platform. Like, I don't think she should have plugged the maker. I think she should have not included that suit. And that's a personal opinion. And I know it's not fair to punish everyone who has a suit by her. But I, for the most part, from LSD Fursuits, I'm like, yeah, it's an LSD Fursuits, you know. But I'm aware of their business practices and stuff. So, I gotta go. Me too. So, thank you all for watching. This is my beware on LSD Fursuits. If you missed any part of it or you think I'm not describing enough, once again, comment down below anything. If you know something I forgot to put in, the earlier part of the video has a ton of stuff. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribing really helps the channel. My Instagram is the best place to see all my fursuit and LPS customs. And I will see you in the next one.